Thank you for tuning into this yoga video. Today we are going to focus on the upper part of the spine. We'll work into our neck and then the various streams of connective tissue that support the neck running down into the chest, the shoulders, and the arms. And if you have your tune-up balls in the netting, have those handy. If not, whatever kind of ball, dryer ball, dog ball that you have will help you get started for this class today. And in this area of the body, it's all about self-expression, being able to find our voice. And in this kind of theme of February of love, it's really around expressing our feelings, our emotions, saying what needs to be said, right? In the way it needs to be said, so that we can take care of ourselves, right? Saying those things that we need to say, allowing ourselves time and space for that expression. So grab your balls and then we'll go over and we'll start. A little bit of wall space will be helpful for this rolling. If you have it, a door space will work too. Anything you can press your shoulder into. And if not, the ground can be your wall. A little bit more trickier, but I'll show you how to do both. Hello, Burdock. This is Burdock, the cat. He's promised to be a very good boy for class today, so we're keeping him in here. Okay, so I have my tune-up balls in the netting here. I haven't taken them out. If you just have one ball, that's a-okay. And we're going to be rolling or pinning and rolling our arm. So what we'll do is as I press the balls into the wall with my arm, I'm going to kind of turn myself left and right, so the balls roll around the circumference of the arm, and this will be getting, as we work our way from the top part of the arm to just above the elbow. This is going to get into our deltoid and our bicep and our tricep. And you might be surprised at how intense this feels. This is another reason why the wall could be a little bit better than the ground. And we'll do one side and then we'll do the other side. If your wall space is limited, you can also lay down on the balls and do the same thing, right? You kind of have to hold yourself with your opposite hand and move your arm so that you can do that rolling. Okay, so hopefully you're started. I'm going to start with this side. Thinking about this class, keep working your way down your arm till you get just above your elbow, and then when you do, switch sides and do the other arm, and then we'll change orientation when we do our form. So I was thinking about this class and self-expression and how, I think maybe we don't give ourselves enough freedom to express, that somehow if we have anger or sadness or worry, maybe with the exception of a close family or friends, that we don't feel like we can express that, right? And so we hold it in. And then the other extreme of that is we just open up and everything flies at the closest person, right? You could almost think of it as not being so mindful about how we express ourselves or directing it towards someone else. So finding that right balance where we give ourselves time and space to express the feeling, to get it out, to get the anger out, to get the words out, the sadness out, but not towards somebody else. Or if it is a message, right, finding those compassionate words. All right, moving on to my other side, starting with the upper arm. And this is a great way too, if you wanted to roll a little bit further, where your torso is facing the wall and then totally facing away from the wall, you'll get a little bit of your chest and your shoulder too. But for this class, right, for this short class, getting into our flow, we'll just be doing this arm part, but good to do after. It can be kind of hard to do the arm against the wall. Sometimes they kind of fly away. Right? And any Any way you can do it is good. Nice and gentle. Okay, I've done my upper arms on both sides. And then the last little thing that I'll do is work to the forearms, and it can be nice to make a little run with your blocks. You could almost think of this as your cooking surface area, and your tune-up balls, your rolling pins. So my tune-up balls are going across, right, east to west along the length of the blocks that I have set up. And then I'll take my forearm in between the balls and the netting, and I'll roll. Now this way that I started, my thumb is facing up, but you'll rotate your arm so that you can get different parts of your arm. So now my thumb is facing out, and I'm rolling over the top of my arm. And then I can flip so that my thumb is facing towards me and my palm is down. All right, and that was 3 sides. Thumb side could be a little bit trickier. Kind of go in a different direction. You can also do this one against the wall. You only need to go up to the elbow, and then we'll switch sides. So thumb faces up, thumb faces out, thumb faces towards, and then maybe the awkward one where you're getting that last part, top part of your arm. You are being such a good cat or duck. Right, now that awkward one facing down. Okay. You can set those aside. And then it's good to work the hands too. And we can do that without our tune-up balls. You could stand or sit on a prop if you'd like. And we'll flex our palm like we're holding a platter. Bring the wrist towards the chest. And then the other hand will swim under for the thumb. And you can gently pull on the thumb. And we'll gently pull on each finger. And then we'll switch sides. Platter in the other hand. And the non-working hand comes under for the thumb. And we work to each finger. Okay. And then we'll start with our Stargazer pose today. We're sitting on our bottoms on the mat, legs extended out. And let's start with our fingers facing towards our seat as we lean back. We'll press into the hands. Feel how that stretches the connective tissue that we just worked, that we just rolled, and possibly across the chest too as you lift your heart towards the ceiling. And then can you let that throat chakra open up as you angle your chin and your gaze up. Take a few breaths. Be easeful with your neck as you bring it to upright. And then as you lean forward, we'll switch directions. Now the fingers facing away, palms pressing, and we'll do the same thing. Eventually lifting the head up if that feels okay. And release. If you're sitting down like me, you can cross your shins so that you roll over and find tabletop. Like this double padding on my mat for my knees. Okay, so in tabletop, let's take a variation of cat-cow where the fingers face towards our knees. So the left hand will rotate counterclockwise and the right hand will rotate clockwise. Press the palms down and then start to move your spine through cat-cow. Flexion and extension. See if you can marry that movement with your breath. Sometimes inhaling for cow and exhaling for cat feels more natural, but there's nothing to say that that has to be that way. All right, come back to neutral. Straighten out the fingertips so that they're facing forward and take a couple more cat-cows. Okay, we're gonna step the right leg back with the toes tucking under, and then the left shin and the top of the left foot will be pressing down into the mat. You wanna feel your shoulders on your back here. The arms are strong. The shoulder blades aren't together, but they're not splitting far apart. And then mindful of that neck, right? It's that balance between open in the front and open in the back. And then as you exhale, can you pull the left knee off the ground? Inhale, tap down. Exhale, lift. Tap down. Notice what happens to your neck as you do this. And can you stay mindful? Notice if where you put your gaze affects it. And then back to table, both knees down. If you want to sit back for a moment, shake it out. And then we'll do that to the other side from table. The left leg back, toes are tucked. My right shin and top of foot is pressing down. Mindful of my neck as I exhale, my right shin comes off the ground. Inhale down. Back to table, back to hero's pose. Shake it up one more time. So we got to keep focusing on the core with all of our spine work because that really supports a natural and range of motion of our spine. Okay, so let's do a little bit into the neck here. As you extend the right leg back behind you from table, flex the foot so your heel is reaching towards the wall behind you. Feel the muscles in the right side of your seat, the right side of your thigh, starting to engage. Now, like a pendulum, the right foot will swing over towards the left and we'll let the toes come down. At the same time, you'll gaze over the left shoulder. And this is going to be a nice side body stretch for your right side. Take a few breaths. And then come back to your tabletop. And then we'll do that to the other side. Left leg back, flexing the foot, tuning in again with all of those muscles waking up. And then the left foot will swing over to the right, toes come down, and we gaze over the right shoulder. And then release, come back to your table, and we'll find down dog. Hands nice and wide, palms angled out, tuck your toes, hips up and back. Remember, you want equal weight pressing into the pinky side edge of the palm, as well as the J side, the thumb side edge of your palm. And you want your knuckles rooting down. I used to have a teacher who said, you don't want them to be able to slide a piece of paper under any part of your fingers or hands. And that really spreads out the weight of the pose equally. And it also turns on the muscles in your arms and your shoulders. Can you free your neck or be mindful of your neck position here? The shoulders aren't scrunching up. And in a neutral neck position here, the neck in the front and the neck in the back would be open. So not tucking the chin and not cranking on the back. Now soften the knees, bend them a lot as you push the hips up and back to lengthen the spine. Now as you inhale, wave forward to your plank. Mindful of the back of the head is lifted and the back of the neck is free. The chin is off the chest. And then as you exhale, back to dog. Inhale, wave forward. Exhale, dog. One more time, wave. Keep all your awareness in your neck here. Touch the knees down. Easy with the neck as you lower all the way down to the ground. Same thing in our baby cobra. Can you find ease in the neck as the palms press and pull back? Feel the shoulders lengthen away from the neck. And we gently lift. Can you lift your chin slightly? And then exhale, lower. 2 more like that. Really pulling the heart forward. Lifting the chin in a way that's not too stressful on the upper cervical spine. The hands can scoot back to be in a stronger position. Tuck your toes, feel your belly button pulling away from the ground as you come up to your table and back to dog. Right leg back and up. Come into that hanging plank. As you come forward, your right leg pulls in towards your chest. And then we step the right foot towards the space on the mat by our right thumb, and our left knee is down. Left toes untucked. Hands down for a moment. Strengthen up your legs. Hips hugging knee in. Feet pressing down. Charging up the muscles in our legs to stabilize. And then when you're ready, you can lift your torso up. Inhale, hands high. Press the palms and exhale your Anjali Mudra towards your sternum, right? Thumbs pressing to the sternum. Take a nice breath in. Nice breath out. Right? That right balance between strong and open. The back is open. The front is open. It's more neutral, right? We're not bowing one way or the other. All right, bring your hands down to the ground and we'll go back to our dog through that 3-legged plank. So the left toes tuck, left knee lifts, hands press to the mat as I bring my right knee in towards my chest again and send it to 3-legged dog, up and back, and then back to dog pose. We'll do that to the other side, left leg back and up. Right, strong with the legs, feel the muscles turning on. And then as the left knee comes into the chest, we come forward to plank. Left foot steps forward, right knee down. Strong with the legs and the hips and the core, the feet rooting down. We take the weight up. Inhale, reach. Press palms, maybe look up toward your thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart. Right, I am strong, I am open. And release, and we'll go back to our dog. Right knee lifts, right toes are tucked, left knee into chest, up and back, Down dog. Now as you inhale, look forward. Find a space right at the top of your mat. Can you keep your gaze there as you bring your feet to the top of the mat? We'll take a halfway lift. Torso opens up a smidge as we're reaching the heart forward, pressing shins, palms to shins, we lengthen. And then exhale, forward fold. So in here, we're rounding the spine. So you might tuck the chin, just gently. Strengthen up the legs. And use your core, right? Belly button on the exhale is moving towards your spine to help you bow. Bow. Now, if you don't have as much hip flexion as I do, if you still have your torso lifted, you're just working into your hip flexors a little bit more, soften the knees, right? It could be that the knees are bent so much you're in a little bit of a squat, and that's okay. Keep using your core muscles. Keep using your leg muscles. Now give the head a little shake side to side very easily. A little yes and no. And then send the hips back, reach the arms forward. Feel your belly lifting off of your thighs as you step through your heels. We'll reach up, look up to the ceiling, and then hands by your side. Exhale. All right, let's move into some sun salutations. Now mindful, we're focusing on the cervical spine here, of where your gaze is, where your drishti is, and that we're being soft with the neck, right? Unless we're purposely trying to bow or extend, right? So find this mountain pose where your feet are maybe hip width distance or closer, your toes are lifting and spreading. You feel your feet rooting down equally, and then whole strength and awareness is just going up your spine. Now in mountain pose, gazing towards the horizon is a nice way to keep the neck long and in place. Okay, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach up, angle the heart towards the sky as you look up. And then exhale, you can bow or swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep that gaze to the top of your mat as you step back to your plank. I'm going to bring hands to blocks as I do this to give myself stepping through space. The knees can tuck down if they need to. Don't lose that spot. Exhale, lower. If you're using the blocks, you might not come down all the way. Knees are down, tops of toes pressed. Strengthen the legs, soft elbows as you reach the heart towards the front of the room. Maybe you gaze up. And then exhale, hips go back through our tabletop, tuck the toes back to dog pose. Where do you need to gaze so that your neck feels long? Can you turn on that Ujjayi breath? All right, switch your gaze as you inhale, top of the mat. Soften the knees, walk your feet up. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise to stand. Reach, keep those hips back as you look up. Mountain pose. 5 breaths in mountain, right? Connect with your strong, lifted body. Feet to crown of head. Okay, Sun Salutation B, we're going to work in some warrior ones and warrior twos from our dog pose. Just as we started the last time in our mountain pose, strong base, reach up with the arms, look up, exhale, forward fold, use your core, let go of your head. Halfway lift, long spine, where's that spot? Can you keep to that spot as the hands come down and you step back into plank. All right, transitions are poses too. Inhale, strengthen. Maybe the knees tap down, elbows bend back as we lower. Still easy with the neck. Tops of toes press, reach the heart forward. Open up the front of the throat slightly. And then hips go back, tuck your toes, dog pose. 3 more breaths here. Right leg backing up. Come into that hanging plank. Right knee towards the chest. Right foot steps forward. Left foot is down on an angle. Left toes are facing top left corner of your mat. As we come up, you can widen your feet left to right for stability. You can widen your feet front to back for more challenge. Try to keep this knee over the ankle. If the knee is going forward, take the front foot forward more, right? So it can meet that challenge. Strength of the outer hips pulling in. Where's your gaze? All right, let's work into the arms a little. As you inhale, reach the arms up, look up. Left arm will reach forward and right arm will reach back, and the gaze will follow the right hand. Let's try that out. Right hand reaches back, left arm forward. Gaze follows, but maybe not that far on the right hand. All right, let your arms down. Let your torso even out first. And then we make our way back to dog. Hands come down. Right knee pulls into the chest. 3-legged dog, up and back. Down dog. Resettle your gaze. Left leg backing up. Left knee comes into the chest as we come forward into plank. Left foot steps forward, right foot down on the angle facing the top right part of the mat. Remember, widen your feet, left to right, for balance as you come up. Warrior 1. Stabilize, strengthen. Get your eyes to that point. Feel your whole column of your spine. It can be really easy to get so focused on the core, the legs, the feet, the arms. Where's the head? Right, chin is back so that the upper neck is right over the lower neck. All right, inhale, reach the arms high. Left arm back. Right arm forward. Twisting. Gaze could follow that left hand. And release. We'll make our way back to dog. Hands come down to the mat or to the blocks. Left knee pulls into the chest. And then 3-legged dog up and back. And back to our dog pose. We're moving. Look forward. Soften the knees. Take your feet to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Long spine, seat to crown. Forward fold as you exhale. Rise. Reach up. And then hands by your side. Exhale. All right. Let's do a balance pose, right? Let's do eagle pose. We've been working with that a lot, and it's helpful to have a block here. So as I stand on my mat, I'm going to take my block on the lowest height outside my right foot. So it probably looks left to you, right? Right? Does it look left? All right, we'll sit back for chair. Now as you bend your knees and send your hips back, the arms reach forward. Make sure your knees are staying over your ankles. And then we're going to wrap the left leg over the right. And the left toes will touch down to that block on the other side of the right foot. And now our left arm's gonna go under, right arm over, as we hug opposite arm to opposite shoulder. Lift the elbows. If you take the full bind, A-okay, wrapping your forearms in your hands, okay? Or you could just stay opposite hand to shoulder. Now see through the obstruction in your arms. Everything's hugging in, strong core, neutral spine, and release. Feet side by side. As the arms come down, you could reach up, look up one more time. Mountain. We'll move the block over to do the other side. Chair pose, sit back, reach forward, right leg over left. My right toes are touching down to that block now. Hug with right arm under. Lift those elbows, stay here, or full bind. Focus to one thing straight ahead. Not up in the future, not down in the past. Feel your strong core working as you exhale. Feel the abdomen fill as you inhale. And release, feet side by side. Release the arms, look up. And then hands by your side. Okay, let's do some seated postures where we work the neck and the arms a little bit more. Okay, Burdock, you look really comfortable on my blanket that I usually use. We'll go off brand here with my lovely loom blanket. So sit on something, a block, a folded blanket, so that when you come into butterfly, bottoms of feet together, knees open, you don't feel like you're leaning back, and you don't feel like you have to hold onto your legs or your feet in some way to keep you up. Just lift that seat higher. Maybe even just fold your blanket one more time. Okay. So once you're feeling upright, this is a pose where we work external rotation of the legs. We're doing that. So you can feel the muscles in your seat working to help do that. You can feel the pinky edges of your feet pressed together. And if you're engaging correctly, the bottoms of your feet are likely fanning up so you can see them. Keep that engagement. And now we're going to work flexion of the hips without flexion of the spine. So the spine is going to stay neutral. And we're going to close at the hips like salad tongues, opposed to flexing the spine as well, which would give us more of a rounded look. So I always imagine that my belly button is reaching for my toes, and that keeps the front of my neck open, my chest open. Easy on the back of the neck too, right? That's the area we're focusing. All right, push yourself up. Go ahead and extend the right leg out. The left leg will stay into butterfly pose, and the left leg might come out on a little bit of a diagonal. I'm going to turn my torso. Sorry, I was mirroring, right? So your right leg is extended. If your right leg is extended, turn your torso towards your right leg. And now we're going to flex at the spine again. Flex at the hips again, and then we'll round the spine. So the left hand might reach over for the right leg, and we can bow the head here. Keep your strong core breath. Keep your legs active. And release, and we'll switch sides. Left leg out on that diagonal. Right leg into butterfly. Whatever side you didn't do. Torso turns towards the extended leg. Flex at the hips. And then we flex at the spine by rounding. Right hand might reach over for the left leg. And if this feels a bit much, you can always keep your left leg bent a lot if you need to. All right, come on up. Both legs will extend out now. We'll set up for our seated twist. The right leg will bend, and then the foot comes to the other side of the left leg. The left leg will bend, and the left foot tucks back towards the right hip. Feel both sitting bones rooting down. The right hand can tend behind you, maybe to a block or to the ground, as the left arm comes up and over. And then make sure you grow your spine long, sitting bones to crown. Right, as we're twisting, we're not bending back or forward or side. And then a little mudra, wisdom mudra here. Right? If you're like saying okay, or your pointer and your thumb are together, but then let the 3 open fingers come together. Wisdom mudra. Gaze over the back shoulder. And release, untwist, extend the legs out, and to the other side we go. Left leg bends, and we'll bring the left foot to the other side of the right leg. The right leg's gonna bend at the knee, and that foot comes back towards the hip. Sitting nice and tall. Feel both sitting bones rooting down. Left hand content behind you. Right arm comes up and over that leg. Let's try our patience mudra, right? Instead of the thumb and the pointer coming together, can you bring the thumb and the middle finger together? Right, patience and wisdom. Right, and then our undulate, our heart compassion. What more do we need? Wisdom, patience, and compassion. Gaze over that back shoulder. Feel your nice strong core on your exhale. And release. One more. Extend both legs out. If the back is sensitive, props underneath the knees to keep them a little bent will be helpful for this pose. Staff pose, Dandasana. Flex the feet. Feel the legs strong. Right? We're neutral in the spine. We're not rounding forward. We're not flexing back. And then most important, lift the chin, lift the gaze towards that horizon. Right? That perfect flow of energy that runs from our seat to the crown of our head. Okay, we'll take our Dandasana into our fold, our Paschimottanasana. Arms can reach up. Feel the core nice and strong as you hinge at the hips, salad tongs. Reaching with the heart. Now hands can come down to support you like tent poles if you need to, but please don't pull. From here, you can stay with this long spine, or you can round your spine and bow your head. Push down, come on up. There's actually one more I wanted to do. We'll take the legs out nice and wide. Again, you can always put something underneath the knees if having the legs extended out doesn't feel great. We're going to go to the right side first. The right forearm is going to press to the inner right leg. And that's going to keep my torso open opposed to my torso angling down towards the leg. And you could keep the left hand on the left hip. Now you want to be salad tongs here. So notice if your upper shoulder is dropping, can you keep it lifted? Almost like you're reaching your right side waist towards your right knee. And then we can take the left arm into extension if it feels okay. Can you turn your gaze towards that extended left arm? Can you keep your chin in from jutting out? The left arm can come down as we rotate the arms, so that the thumb is facing down. Bend at the elbow and take the back of the hand to the lower back. And then let the right ear drop to the right shoulder. Left hand behind the back. Right ear to right shoulder. Saying it again because I feel like I might have said it wrong. Feet are flexed and active. Mindful of my strong core as I exhale. And then help to come up. You can push the ground away. Release the arm. We'll take that to the other side. My left elbow, my left forearm is going to press into that inner left thigh. You can always put a block there if you need something a little bit closer to you. Right hand can start on the right hip. Left side waist is reaching for the knee. Right, keeping a more angular opposed to rounded or side bending side here. Strong legs, strong core. Maybe the right arm reaches up and over and the gaze follows, right? Chin is back, head is back with the spine as we're also twisting to the right, gazing towards our right arm. Right, and if you're not side bending here, if you're just flexing at the hips, it's probably a lot of core work, so you can always tuck a prop there. Now we'll release the right arm as the hand comes down, the right thumb is down, bending at the elbow, the back of the right hand to the lower back, and I can let my neck fall towards the left. And release, press down to come up. You can release your right hand. And then we'll come to lay down on our mat. You want the mat to be clear of props and make sure you have your block, one block handy as you come to lay down. Let's take the block and we'll step into the feet, lift the hips. The block goes underneath the sacrum. Take the arms into a T shape or a goalpost shape and then walk the legs far forward. For most of us, the knees will stay bent some. It could feel nice to have the legs long, but don't do that if it doesn't feel good on the lower back. Send some breath to your core. Now being really easy, just letting the inhales fill your front body up. Rebend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. One leg at a time, bring your knees in towards your chest and then let them dangle up towards the ceiling or waterfall. It can be nice here to do some circles with the wrists and the ankles. And then our feet will come down. Lift the hips, set your block aside. We're going to take our arms alongside us, palms facing down. Can you feel that your thumbs are by the sides of your hips? We're going to go ahead and walk our hands, little part of our hand, maybe just the J part for your thumb and your pointer knee, underneath your seat. If that feels good and you want to go further, you might walk your thumbs a little closer together underneath your seat. And depending on how close your hands are together, you'll feel the weight of your body giving a nice stretch and press to the connective tissue in your fingers and your forearms. The legs will extend now for fish pose. You can keep them active, pointed, or flexed, whatever feels good for you. And then as you press the palms and the forearms down, As you bend the elbows, your chest will lift up towards the ceiling and your head will go back slightly, opening up, right? That throat chakra, our expression. Not a lot of weight in the head, so keep the arms strong. And then as you release, you can start to tuck your chin, the elbows straighten, the arms straighten, and then we'll let our feet flop, our hands flop out from underneath us. Open and close the palms as you feel the blood flow racing back in. And then we'll do one more twist before Shavasana, arms out in the T shape. Bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat, step into the feet so the hips lift, and move the hips over to the right side of your mat just a little bit. From there, the knees pull into the chest and fall to the left. Gaze over your right shoulder towards your right hand. If that doesn't feel comfortable on the neck, you might benefit from a little pillow of the hand so the left elbow can bend and you can bring the left hand behind your head. And then release the legs, bring the hips back to center, and to the other side we go. Step into my feet, I bring my hips over to the left, my knees come in towards my chest and fall right. I gaze out over the left hand. If my neck needs a little bit more support, my right hand can come back behind my head. And release. Okay, most important part of the class. We have this whole day ahead of us, but can you commit to this presence, this mindful state where we tune in and stay very connected to what's going on in this moment in our body? If thoughts come in about the rest of the day, kindly ask them to wait just a few more moments and we'll take a few rounds of breath here. Bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. Rebend the knees, bringing the feet to the mat. Pull them in towards your chest. Give them a hug and a rock side to side. And then you could roll to one side to come up or rock and roll along your spine, rounding, tucking your chin, coming on up. 8. Sit nice and tall. Feel the sitting bones rooting down. And feel your whole spine, cervical spine, all the way up to the crown of your head, just reaching towards the sky. Notice that space you created today. Bring our hearts to center, this Anjali Mudra. Right? Gratitude, compassion. Together we'll take a breath in and out. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. Message, email questions if you have them, and I hope you take care.